All right, Khan Academy, slope intercept from 2 points. So in this section, you're given 2 points, and you need to figure out the equation of a line, slope intercept form. I'm going to teach you 2 ways. They're kind of both one could be quicker than the other depending on the numbers. But I figure if I give you 2 options, you can kind of pick which way you want to go. The most conceptual way is make a table. So I'm going to make my XY table. And I'm purposely going to cheat down a little bit because I notice my numbers are at 2. My X numbers are at 2 and 5. So I'm going to cheat down a little bit. I'll show you why in a second. So 2, 1, and then we skip all the way down to 5, -8. All right. Well, we've done quite a bit with the table before. Realize that at the end of the day, what we need is slope-intercept form. So we need y equals something x plus or minus something, just like some of the earlier sections. So to get the slope, remember, slope is just change in y over change in x. I've been harping on this a lot, and that's the terminology that I prefer. So change in y over change in x, so let's check it out. So my change in y is dropping by 9, and my change in x is increasing by 3. So that means my slope is a -9 over 3, which you will reduce that, and you divide it out. 3 goes into both those numbers. It'd be a -3 over 1. So that means it's dropping 3 for every 1x. So if I go back and fill in the table, for every 1x, I'm dropping 3. Well, 1 take away 3 would put me at -2. Go another one for x, I drop another 3. And now my table starts to fill in. So my slope is -3. I don't think Khan's going to like you to put -3 over 1. So put -3x. And now remember, for the y-intercept happens when we get an x value of 0. So we got to work our way up the table here, fill in some values. So we need to go to 1. So going up the chart, the numbers are getting bigger by 3. So that's a 4, and this is going to be a 7. So I've just found my y-intercept now. It's +7. So final answer, y equals -3x plus 7. Now, so this is kind of what I'm going to call just the table method. And if that makes sense to you and you like it, use it. Another method I like to use is called the solve for b method. So the solve for b method, the thing I don't like about the table is, on Khan Academy, I think the table can work for all of them. In real life, sometimes the numbers are nasty, and the table doesn't work out, and you get a weird fraction somewhere, which is kind of hard to deal with. So to solve all problems, no friendly numbers or with friendly numbers, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the slope. So again, you could find the slope. If you like the table, use the table. You know, I have 2, -2, and then I have 4, 1, and change in y, change in x. So my slope is my change in y over my change in x. So my slope is 3 over 2. Now, some people like to do the y2 minus y1. They're a little more old school. x2 minus x1. If you're a formula lover, which I am sometimes, I'm just going to subtract, and I get y minus y, so 1 minus a -2. And then 4 minus 2. You got to be careful on this way that you don't screw up your negatives, but you'll get the same slope. Now, here's where the method changes some. So it's called the solve for b method because I kind of know how to start the equation. I know it's y equals 3/2 x, but I really don't know what to put in for b. So here's what I can do. I have y equals 3/2 x, x plus b. And what I can do is, because these points here are solutions to the equation, I have an x and a y. Matter of fact, I have 2 of them that I can choose from to substitute in. So I'm going to choose to slap this 4 and this 1 in the equation. I'm going to grab that right there, and I'm going to plug it in and solve for y, or solve for b. So I put my 1 in for y, I put my 4 in for x, and I'm going to solve and figure out what b is. So here we go. I get 1 equals, well, 3/2 times 4, that's really 3/2 times 4 over 1, which is 12 divided by 2, or 6. Plus b, then I minus 6 from both sides, and I get b equals -5. So now I can go back and I can say, hey, b, I know what you are. You are a -5. So that's the solve for b method. Find the slope, plug x and y in, figure out what b is. So you have a choice. You can pick either way that you like.